It's a conversation that's likely happening around kitchen tables all over the country.
It's a new normal, I say to the kids.
Conversations about the coronavirus and how everyone must do their part.
Be safe, make good choices, but don't stop helping.
So for Rob and Reese Shear and their 5 kids, whose schools have now canceled classes,
This is what we decided to do.
that looks like this.
So we're doing a turkey and cheese, we're doing a ham and cheese.
Dozens and dozens of sandwiches made not for them, but for people in need.
We also have chips, bottles of water that we'll be handing out.
11, 12.
It's 15-year-old Amaya's job to keep track of how many meals they've actually made.
28, 29.
And as she counts, her dad explains their motivation.
Fall of 1984, I literally lived on the streets my senior year of high school.
Rob's past fueling his hunger to help, because he says the homeless are more vulnerable now than perhaps ever before.
My kids are able to stay here in this home and be protected. They're behind these walls. People that are homeless have to leave shelters in the morning. They're out in the streets.
Of course, Rob's recipe also calls for COVID-19 precautions, like hand sanitizer and gloves for the entire family.
Tomorrow, we're going to go to Baltimore. We're going to meet under the bridge at North Sarasota, and we're going to hand out the sandwiches that we have made.
Food for the soul.
And we also have peanut butter and jelly.
As they count their blessings.
33, 34.
And share them.
As long as there's people who need and we have the ability to give, we're going to continue to do it.
Heather Graf, ABC 7 News. It's been nearly 2 weeks since Christchurch, Georgetown was forced to cancel all services.
And the test came through saying it was positive.
Nearly 2 weeks since Reverend Tim Cole was diagnosed with COVID-19.
If you have the virus, the one thing that immediately becomes clear to you is that you're no longer in control.
On Friday, the 59-year-old leader of this historic Episcopal church spoke to us via FaceTime from his hospital room in his first interview after becoming the district's first confirmed case of coronavirus.
It wasn't part of my plan to be the person that brought the coronavirus to Washington, D.C., but that's the way it seems to turn out.
And since then, several members of his congregation have joined the growing list of cases.
It's basically fever, it attacks your lungs, so your lung capacity is reduced, shivering, sweats, aches, sore throat.
But as he fought through those severe symptoms, Cole found strength in this stack of cards and letters sent by parishioners.
It says, "Dear Father Tim, I hope you feel better soon." And it says, "Love from Franny." And I've just got piles of letters like that, which, just shows, I think, people are still in good heart.
He now believes the worst of the virus is behind him.
Yeah, I'm feeling strong and positive and good, really.
And he has faith that this trying season will pass.
We will get through this. We, the church, we, the country, we, the world, will get through this.
And Reverend Cole is still waiting for doctors to clear him so he can head home from the hospital. A little bit of good news, though. He tells me his wife and his son have tested negative for COVID-19. In Georgetown, Heather Graf, ABC 7 News. We're kind of walking a little bit closer to where we were showing you guys earlier, the AFL-CIO building, where we saw protesters who had entered that building, smashed the windows, and then went inside and were throwing trash cans around and looting that building. So again, we are trying to be careful here, but if we come around, as my photographer starts to come around this corner, you will see where that car is still burning. Again, we're only going to go as close as we feel comfortable, but you can see the smoke there in the distance and the flames of that 2 cars that were set fire maybe about 20 minutes ago and have been burning ever since. I can tell you, though, as I'm talking, I now hear the sirens of a fire truck, and we do see DC Fire and EMS arriving here on the scene. But from what Tim was saying earlier, it seems like this is one of several small fires that have now been set. So a sad and unfortunate turn of events that's starting to look a lot like what we saw during last night's protests. Excuse me, I'm coughing a little bit because we did get some of that pepper spray a little bit earlier. But again, this is the scene at 16th and I Street. And for right now, we'll send it back to you inside. Spend a few minutes outside Inova Fairfax Hospital, and you'll see just how busy this place is in the age of COVID-19.
I think the hardest part has been seeing the younger patients being so sick so quickly.
So for Dr. Carrie Scantlebury and every other hero who works here, Wednesday's siren salute along Gallows Road was just what they needed.
It's an overwhelming, heartwarming response. Literally have no words except thank you.
It started out with an overhead tribute from an FBI helicopter, followed by a parade of police officers and firefighters from all over Fairfax County.
It's just nice to be noticed that people are going above and beyond.
A show of support from one group of frontline workers to another.
We all work together. These are all our patients. Again, from the moment they call 911 up through the intensive care unit.
And as an emergency room physician at Inova, who also works for Fire and Rescue, Dr. Dan Abstride knows the importance of that partnership perhaps better than anyone.
This is one team, and the reason we all love this work is you can't do it by yourself. You need a team.
So it's no surprise that even as these doctors and nurses were being honored, many of them waved signs that said thank you as the patrol cars and fire trucks passed by.
It brings tears to my eyes.
Stronger together, Dr. Scantlebury told us.
We're all worried about our families and our loved ones and our friends.
And in this together, for as long as it takes.
We will get through this.
Heather Graf, ABC 7 News.
Making up for missed milestones. When the coronavirus pandemic canceled prom for their high school senior, a Maryland family decided to bring the dance, John, to their driveway. Hands down my favorite story tonight.
Very good story. Well, tonight's ABC 7's Heather Graf shows us the socially distant surprise celebration that came with the help of a cardboard celebrity.
The sign in the front yard and the shoe polish on the car window serve as a reminder of what should have been.
I'm 17, I'm a senior, and I was supposed to graduate June 4th.
No graduation for Kaylee Katz and no high school prom. Just lots of family time, quarantined at home due to COVID-19.
It's been a little crazy because there's 7 of us in the house, so not very much personal space.
It's a game.
It's supposed to be fun. Lighten up.
Kaylee admits she wasn't in the best mood.
You have to find the next clue.
When her 3 older sisters sent her on a scavenger hunt through their neighborhood in Gaithersburg.
They kind of surprised me right when I woke up, so I was a little bit grumpy.
She found the next clue.
Clues that eventually led to a cardboard cutout to former One Direction singer Zayn Malik.
Really? Will you go to prom with me?
As for who else got the special invite,
obviously I couldn't have like a real date because of social distancing.
It was family only for this black tie affair in the driveway.
So people were just strolling on their walks, minding their own business, and they just hear us screaming, prom, prom.
I mean, it was just hilarious to watch her be queen, prom queen.
You see the picture. She has a great big smile, and she wore that crown all night.
I think my favorite part would be we forced her to do a slow dance with the cardboard cutout, the prom king and queen, and that was hilarious.
Not exactly what Kaylee had pictured for her senior year.
I don't think any teenage girl wants to spend prom with her parents, but...
But that smile is all the proof her sisters really need.
It was definitely memorable.
To know their pandemic prom was a hit.
Like, they know I've missed out on a lot of the things we're supposed to have our senior year, so it was nice to have something in place of that.
Heather Graf, ABC 7 News.
You gotta love that. You gotta improvise sometimes, especially right about now.